All right, here we go. We are live. Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And I'm assuming when you're watching this, it is Sunday, but if you're watching any other time, I am just as much appreciative of your viewership. I have another book. There was supposed to be another one that was arriving today. It seems like it's going to be a little late, so probably won't get here until either Monday or Tuesday. But better late than never, but I did get one today, and that's good enough. So this is a Marvel Silver Age key. This is another book. I had a couple of issues of this book, but because of having to pay bills and stuff, I had to sell them all and didn't realize I didn't leave myself one copy. But I was able to reacquire one, so we'll see what happens when it gets graded. But while I'm waiting for people to come in, if you look on the bottom of the screen of the AI art, and I have it of Emma Frost holding a large key, it takes so many times to try and get a prompt to work right when you're asking for specific things. It's amazing how many times they get it wrong. But if you appreciate my AI art, I'd love to hear your comments in the comments section. But if you could see scrolling on the bottom of the screen, you'll see books like Amazing Fantasy 15, Batman 2, Wonder Woman 1, etc., etc. These are books I'm looking to acquire via trade, because I want to show people that you can acquire things that you think are out of reach by other means than just financial. Because those of you who watch my videos know I've been out of work since October, but that will never stop me from being able to achieve goals. And I want to try and teach people. So I'm hoping by the end of this year, I will have acquired at least one of those books via a trade. Now, I did a video about 2 months ago showing all of the books that are all graded, by the way. All books that I sent in the PGX to get graded by myself, so you don't have to worry about anything about the slabs, that I'm willing to trade. If it takes all 30 to get one of the book, as long as it's a fair trade, I would be willing to do it. So check out that video, and if you're somebody that has an extra Amazing Fantasy 15 or one of those other books, or is just looking for other books to add to your collection, please contact me, peacefulfeelings@yahoo.com. We got a couple of people in the chat. We've got, is it Dralencia Designs? So forgive me if I forgive that. Or Dr. Valencia Designs. Welcome. He says, hey there. Never seen you before, so welcome. Same thing with Jamie. He's assuming it's Amazing Spider-Man 1. I wish it was, but I do own a 0.3 coverless copy of that book. But I would definitely love a complete book, so it's not that one. So we got 5 people watching. No one's hit the like button yet, but I know my viewers, you guys will change that really quick. Check the link in the description of this and every video for all discount codes that I offer people. You don't have to be a subscriber to get them. If you're interested in any of my comic book mystery boxes, I have anything from a $25 mystery box up to a $5,000 mystery box. If you go to my website, you'll see a bunch of pyramids and stuff like that, and soaps, because I make organic soaps and stuff like that. Scroll down to the bottom until you see the comics section, and if you do an unboxing video of your comics that you order, I will make sure I like the video, I will subscribe to your channel, and I will have you share the link on my most recent video to help you get some viewers and subscribers. Collect what is here. So we got enough people. One of you were kind enough already to hit the like button, so thank you for that. So let's put on the video camera, because you guys, for the most part, are here to see the books, not to hear me rant. If you like to hear me rant, I had a good one yesterday. Hopefully you'll check it out. I'm probably the only person on YouTube that can do a 5-minute unboxing and turn it into a 40-minute video, but there are a few people that like it. So here is the box. Looks like it arrived fairly safe. There's a couple of dents, but not anything that looks like there's a reason for concern. This was, and I tell people all the time, look on eBay for newly listed books, because you'd be amazed at how many times deals will be right there that you have to grab really quick. Now, this is from the seller that, from the comic unboxing from yesterday. This one, I guess they just sent, because I bought one before the other, so this one just arrived a day later. So as you can see, like they did in the other one, and somebody made a good idea. This was really nice of them. They actually put the packing peanuts inside a bag with the comic. So instead of it, when you pull it out, and you know what happens when you pull things out, things fly all over the place. This actually was really nice. It's almost like a My Pillow. So a little shout out to My Pillow, even though I don't, get sponsored by them or anybody pretty much. But I didn't think about that. But yeah, this was a nice way to protect the comic without having this stuff going all over the place. So this is the same seller. Now this one had a buy it now and a best offer, but I wasn't going to take the chance on missing out on this one by sending a best offer. So I could have potentially gotten it maybe a little lower, but I was afraid because the price was so good on this. I mean, it's not $50 or anything, but it was so good, I didn't want to have somebody else see that and do what I did, which is just buy it right at that moment. So I could have gotten it for cheaper, but I was very happy with the price. Now, they did charge $17 for shipping, and then there's, the eBay taxes. But even with all of that, I'm very happy about this. And it's another book where the price has gone down, and that's when you really want to take advantage of these opportunities. So this one, it has a detached cover, which means the highest grade it can get is a 4. But this looks pretty darn good. This is probably a 3 to a 3.5. Maybe it might hit a 4. The back of the book, obviously I'll have to take it out. But this book looks really clean. So without further ado, who do we got in here? We got the Comic Book G-Man, welcome. And we got Gotham City Comics. 4 of you out of the 10 hit the like button. And here we go. We got Fantastic Four, number 52. First appearance of the Black Panther, which I did have a couple of copies of this book, but like I said, I sold them all. Didn't realize, usually when I have multiple copies, if I have to sell books, I'll sell the multiple copies, but always leave myself one. This particular time, because so many people wanted the books, I ended up selling them all and didn't even keep one. I didn't realize that I sold every single one of them. It's not like I had 50 of them or anything like that. I think I had maybe 3 or 4. So I didn't own this book anymore. And when I saw the price on this, I had to pounce on it right away. So I would tell people all the time, go on eBay, check newly listed comics. Now, my secret is I never look for a specific comic. Like, I don't type in for newly listed comics. I don't type in Amazing Fantasy 15, for example. Number 1, I don't have the money. And number 2, I just write the word comics. I click the thing where it says newly listed, buy it now, and I put in a price range. So it's not going to show me books that are $1 books, and it's not going to show me $10,000 books. So I put it in a specific range, and I refresh literally every 3 to 10 seconds. And when you find something, sometimes like the book yesterday, I communicated with the person because they didn't have a best offer on it. This one had the price plus a best offer, and I felt if I would have sent the best offer, it could take, hours or maybe a day before a seller will respond. And I really felt if I did that, I would take the chance of risking losing it for maybe a $50 or $60 savings. So this book was a buy it now for $200. Now, they charged me $17 in taxes, in shipping cost, which you could see it was well protected, and the eBay charges taxes. So I paid a grand total of $232.24. Now, of course, this is the first appearance of Black Panther. Now, we know what happened when Chad Boswick passed away, and the second movie honestly really shouldn't have been made, or if anything, should have been made incredibly different. I think they just used that as a perfect excuse to add a version of Black Panther that the majority of people did not want to increase their agendas. But this is still an iconic character. Chad Boswick, when he was alive, rest his soul, did an amazing job portraying the character, and that brought a lot more people either back into comics or into comics for the first time for this character. It just goes to show, like, for example, when it comes to diversity and everything, I would never want to see a white male or a white woman, for example, play back Black Panther, because it's a black character, and that's why I keep it even. I don't want to have race swapping and gender swapping on characters that have been established and appreciated by fans. You can make other characters and give them their own story, which gives people a better reason to relate to somebody than other than, here's a thing you like, we're just going to change it just for the sake of, it's different. So, like I said, I would never want to see a white person play Black Panther because it's a black character. So they should never disrespect the origins of what made a character great, and that goes in all directions. I don't want to see, like, for example, I forget the character's name, but in Alpha Flight, I think it was issue 109, I remember it was a big controversy back then when they had the first gay character that was in Alpha Flight, a gay superhero. I would never want to have a straight person play that character, because that character, their origin and their initial introduction to the comic book world was that character was gay. So I wouldn't want to see that changed, even if it's something I don't agree with necessarily, at least in my life. I don't care what anybody else does, but to me, they shouldn't change what established a character. That includes Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. I don't ever want to see a man play Wonder Woman, so why would I want to see a female play Black Panther? Now, people will argue, well, they have that in the comics, but that's recently with all the things they've been doing. So you can never go wrong with the original. So for $200 plus the shipping and taxes, like I said, it came out to $232.24. It does, like I said, and they did mention it, it does have a detached cover, which means the highest it can get as far as the grade is concerned is a 4.0. Usually it tends to be 3 to a 3.5, lower if it's really demolished. But if you look at the colors of this book, it's got some spine ticks that break color. They don't have it taped, so let's take it out. Excuse me while I whip this out. And if you know what reference of what movie I'm talking about, put that in the comments section. And no, it's not a porn. The back, and there's one or two tears, but the back, it's like an off-white. So it looks pretty darn good. So let's see if it's completely detached. I believe it is. Yeah, so it's completely detached. Let's check the centerfold. Pages inside look really nice. I would say off-white pages. Centerfold is attached at both staples. So I think overall, it does have a line that goes like this. It's non-color breaking. So I want to be careful about this so I don't ruin it. But I think for that price, definitely worth it. So there are always deals out there. My technique may not work for you, but it's worked for me so many times, I don't even question it. I don't even worry about it. The idea is to have fun with what you're doing. Don't think of it as a chore. Go in with no expectation. Like I said before, I don't go into it saying, all right, I'm looking for Fantastic Four number 52. I'm not looking for Justice League of America, Brave and the Bold 28. I don't look for specific books, but they'll come up. And even though I've been unemployed since October, there are always ways to get these books, and I got a couple more coming. I did have to sell some of my Bitcoins, which I don't even have a full Bitcoin. Like I said the other day, I have a little bit more than a tenth of a Bitcoin. So a couple of $100 here and there. I got the DJ job working New Year's Eve, and they're going to hire me for 2 more parties, but one's not until February, and another is not until, I think, May, but they might have more in between. There's always ways, so never give up. Go in with no expectation. And like I always say, don't be afraid to pass on something if you don't think it's where you're comfortable at spending your money. Don't go by what other people say. Don't go by peer pressure. Don't discourage yourself if a million people say, oh, I'd never buy that. Well, who cares? Those million people that wouldn't buy the thing that you want means you don't have to worry about them being competition and making you pay more for what you want. So be very happy if you're a person who buys outside the box, who doesn't go by what's trending and what's popular. Because if you see what's going on with CGC right now, there are many people that are biting their nails in panic over what's happening because they all followed the CGC train of they can do no wrong, they're going to give you the best money, blah, blah, blah. You know, I've been trying to warn people for a long time, but most people won't listen, and no one ever gives me credit at all. I watch so many videos out there. You know, I'll give out shout-outs like there's no tomorrow. Everyone seems to be afraid to recommend my channel or give me credit for things I've talked about. And I'm not talking about my viewers that can't leave comments. I'm talking about other YouTube channels. It's like pulling, like taking blood out of a stone to get somebody to actually shout out my channel. Unless I've given them or sold something, which is fine. But if you follow just trends, you're following the masses, and the masses really don't know what they're doing because they're so insecure about themselves that they need to follow others and do what they do to be liked or accepted. Be careful who you hitch your horse to, what wagon you hitch your horse to. I stand alone. There is no other channel like mine. Now, that doesn't make me better. That doesn't make me the best. It just makes me different. Like, for example, if somebody was to say to me, oh, you're 1 in a million, I would actually take that as an insult. Because with over 7 billion people on the planet, if I'm 1 in a million, that means there's thousands of people just like me. I'm not 1 in a million. I'm one of a kind. There are people who will like me for being that way, and there will be people who will flat out hate me for it. But I will not focus on the haters, and I will appreciate the ones that like me. And I don't need best friends to have to be required to watch my channel. You can disagree with me. You could not like what I say for every now and then. But if you can correct me, educate me, share your point of view in a logical, friendly, understanding way, I'll have severe respect for you. But the people that have to name call and insult and do negative things, that says more about them and venting their own inner insecurities and frustrations, hoping somebody else will take it. Like when you're a kid, you say, I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say bounces off of me and sticks onto you. If you follow the masses, they will usually lead you off a cliff. Because most people follow blindly. And like I said, just look at the CGC thing. I'm loyal to companies who are loyal to me. And that can change. Loyalties can change. I've had many people, when I had my original We Love Comics channel, that pretended to be my friend, that stabbed me in the back, and to this day, I would love to know what I did to them other than promote their products. I promoted their comic books. I promoted their stores. When they sold stuff, I would allow them to sell them, and I wouldn't. I used to do live auctions on my original We Love Comics channel, where I would allow other comic book channels to come on my auction, which, by the way, at that time, had between 500 and 1,000 people watching the live shows. Right now, I have 21. And I would allow them to sell their books on my channel. They wouldn't have to pay me a percentage. They wouldn't have to pay a fee. And I didn't ask for a dime. I did it because it was the right thing to do. There were people that made their own versions of comic books who I was responsible for them getting many sales because I promoted their comic. Never asked for anything. I think they said they would send me I think a number 1 or number 2 issue of their comic. I don't know if they ever did because it was so long ago, but I don't want to say flat out they didn't, because I honestly don't remember, and I don't want to be a liar. They could have, I just don't remember. But they all stabbed me in the back, and one of them admitted it on a live show, that they were just using me. So there are people who will follow the masses, that will pretend to be your friend, or may legitimately be your friend at that moment, and turn on you if you say one thing they don't like. So I always say, you don't have to believe everything I say. You don't even have to like everything I say. But I will say what I feel in my heart is right, at least for me. I will never go out and blatantly lie to people for my own financial gain. And I think it's disgusting what's going on. And as you're seeing with the whole CGC situation, anybody that tried to tell you that there was only one scammer, because now, I'm going to give a shout out, and again, I don't get shout outs, but I will give shout outs again to Keep It Thorough Comics, who did a video yesterday, which I recommend you see, that they found out that not only is it not just one scammer, but they were dealing with a comic book store in Queens. They wouldn't mention the name, and there was a presser that was involved. Now, to be fair, did the comic book store and the presser know that what they were pressing and what they were selling were switched? That is the question of all time. So they may have been ignorant. There could have been the scammer who legitimately told them to press a book, not telling them what they were going to do with it. And then when it was done, gave it to a comic book store to sell. So I will play devil's advocate. The pressers and the comic book store may have been totally in the dark about what the scammer was doing. But there is proof that there are numerous comics that were sold outside of eBay, which what CGC is using as their list of only 350. I love the fact it's a exact number. It's not 347. It's not 363. It's 350. And that's just from one eBay seller. How many people you think they did that where they sold it on Instagram or Facebook Marketplace, or sold them in person, or sold them at comic book stores? If anybody out there really thinks there is only one scammer, you're tricking yourself, and I guarantee you the ones that are the ones that have hundreds of only CGC books on their walls and on their shelves and promote only CGC as the only go-to grading source. Notice I promote them all. I've always said CGC, well, was number one, but they've shot themselves in the foot. But I've given credit to PGX, CBCS, which I don't do any deal with, EGS. I've even mentioned Halo from time to time, even though I do not have one Halo comic. But it's good for people overseas. I think that's where that's coming from. Yeah. So I see so many YouTubers defending CGC. I prefer PGX. I live in the Pacific Northwest and happy with them. Never had a problem with PGX. Cheaper, faster. I just prefer them. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you guys have seen, I've had a deal with PGX where I do not have a contract signed, so I'm under no obligation to say anything other than my experience. I do not get paid by them. I just get 4 comics every month. This is now 6 years I've been dealing with them. Every single unboxing is live and still on my channel. So you can see I've never had a damaged book. The books are what I sent in, because every single one of them I bought raw or cracked out of a CGC case. And one of them was a CBCS case. So I could have dodged bullets there. And everyone has arrived safely, on time, and relatively the grade that I expected them to be, except for maybe 2 or 3 times that I totally did not agree with the grade. And I literally cracked them open live on the videos for you to see. I've said so many times, by their deeds you shall know them. And there are so many people right now that are trying to walk on their tippy toes to say anything negative about CGC, and it's making it very clear why they're doing it. They're doing it because they put all their eggs in one basket, which if you're an investor, you never are supposed to do that. But they spent so much of their money concentrating on one company that finding out that they're not the angels that they pretended them to be could now damage what they've probably invested in the tens of thousands of dollars in. By their deeds you shall know them. You cannot pad this. You cannot, well, you can, but you should not pad this and say, oh, it's just 350 that we know of. Oh, it's just one person. Because you're not being genuine. I collect PGX, CGC, CBCS. I have some EGS books. So I will use all companies. There are pros and cons for each company. I will not, even when I have a deal with both PGX and EGS, which, by the way, with EGS, I also do not have a contract signed. I also do not get paid. And they only allow me 2 books, which I'm perfectly happy with. I have no problem with saying what most people are afraid to be said. And like I said, I'll never get any credit from any other YouTuber. And I give shout-outs all the time for other people. It's unfortunate, but you know what? I don't need them. It would be nice if we were a real community, like so many people say. I love how there are people out there, especially the bigger ones, that call this a comic book community. And you see right here, the whole situation, what's going on with CGC, what this community is really about. Most of them, and I can't say all, because there are always exceptions to every rule, but most of them are there just for the money. The ones that can't stand the 9.6 and have to resend it in until they get a 9.8 are not doing it for the love of the comic. They're not doing it to protect the comic. They're not doing it because they love to hang it on the wall. They're doing it because the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 could be hundreds if not thousands of dollars. And there are much more of those videos out there that get much higher views and get more followers, more subscribers, which shows you what the average person talks about. Do you ever wonder why so many people for years kept asking me how come I don't do the prediction videos of what books to buy anymore? Because like I said, I had information back in 2017. I had insider information telling me about things that haven't still happened yet that are going to, like Midnight Suns. I was telling people, and you should see the videos when I was talking about Ultimate Fallout 4 5 years ago, 6 years ago when I was living in New York. There are comments from very rude people saying, oh, this is never going to last and you're totally wrong and blah, 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 like pure hater. And I actually saw one from about 6 years ago. It was blasting me for Ultimate Fallout 4 and Edge of Spider-Verse 2. And I just recently left a comment. Say, I wonder if you still believe that nonsense now. And I don't do those videos anymore because I've always talked about them. I've already mentioned them. I was way ahead of everybody else. People used to laugh at me when I said I had insider information about movies. I was telling people that Daredevil would be the best fit in the, whatchamacallit, She-Hulk show. Now, I never knew She-Hulk was going to be such a shit show. But I was talking about that because Hell's Kitchen, they were both in New York. And that was when Daredevil was still a property of Netflix. And I was talking about how Daredevil will end up in the show of She-Hulk. And I used to get laughed at. I used to get made fun of, ignored. I seem to know what I'm talking about. And I'm not afraid to... See, when you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Notice that you can watch a video I did 6-7 years ago and watch a video like this today, and I will be of just as consistent then. I was warning people about CGC for years, telling people that if you keep giving them free pass after free pass, one day something's going to happen, and it's going to destroy the very thing that you've been so afraid to call out. And look what's happening. What a shocker. And there are still YouTube channels that are going to sugarcoat what's going on with CGC. It blows my mind. And here's the thing. I'm not one of those channels that says, well, if you follow those people, unfollow me, unsubscribe, blah, blah, blah. You can listen to whoever you want. There are people who love watching somebody rescue an animal and saving its life. And there are some people that like to watch videos of hunting animals and ending their lives. Whether I agree with something or disagree with something, have no responsibility about what you choose to like or dislike. So I will never tell you, don't subscribe to this person, don't subscribe to this channel, don't subscribe to this idea. You can do whatever you want. But like I've said before, there are consequences for your actions or your inactions. And remember, you can do the right thing, the wrong thing, or nothing, and there is still consequences for all three of those actions. So I say, do the right thing. It's better for you, at least as a human being. And these other channels that have had their biases extremely clear about CGC and their undying, undevoted loyalty shows, or should at least show, that they care about one thing, and that is the money value of their collection. Like I said, I've seen so many different channels that when they do an unboxing, and I love watching unboxing videos. I'll watch anybody's, especially if it's one where they don't know the grades. I like watching those videos. So if you have an unboxing video of CGC, CBCS, PGX, EGS, or even Halo, and you have a video where you're doing an unboxing where you don't know the grade, send me the link. I'll be more than happy to watch it. But what really bothers me is when I see somebody thinking a book is a 9.8, because this is how you know a person that doesn't know how to grade. How is this not a 9.8? How many times have you seen this on thousands of videos? Oh my God, how is this not a 9.8? This is ridiculous. I got a 9.6. They look at the front cover, they look at the edge, or maybe they'll look at the back. But they seem to forget there are things inside a book called pages. And page 16 could be bent. Page 18 could have writing on it. Page 20 could have had a coffee stain. You can't go like this. How is this? And I love that. If somebody that knows the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8, if they're that good, then quit your job and work for a grading company. But how many times have you seen a video where somebody gets a 9.6 and they're like, I'll just send it back and eventually they'll grade me and give me my 9.8? So does that make it an accurate grade? Or are you just going by what you feel is what you think you deserve? I mean, the egos of some people are amazing. And there were channels that were making fun of my slogan of no grade is better than low grade. Which, by the way, I believe I'm the person that came up with that slogan. If I'm wrong and somebody did it before me, please correct me, because I don't want to take somebody else's credit. But I believe, because I've been saying it since my original channel, low grade is better than no grade. How many times have you watched my live unboxings from PGX or EGS where I thought it could be a 9.8 and I got a 9.6 or 9.4? How many of you heard me say, oh my God, I can't believe this is that low and I'm going to crack it open and resend it in until I get my 9.8? Never. Watch every video. I challenge you. They're there. I am appreciative of whatever I have. And maybe that's why I'm glad I have my financial struggles. Because ever since I was a child, I mean, when I grew up, my father left my mother when I was 10. Left her to have to raise 2 kids on her own. Because back then, there was no such thing as suing for child support back in the 70s. And it made me appreciate everything I have. I wasn't spoiled where it's like, oh, you bought me a car? How dare it not be this car? Oh, you bought me a watch? How dare you not buy me a watch with this label brand? I was always appreciative of what I had. So if I have a Fantastic Four, number 52, which is the first appearance of Black Panther, would I love a 9.8? I sure would. Can I afford a 9.8? No. I'm very happy with this coming back a 2.5, a 3.5. It could come back a 1.0. And I will still be happy for what I have. In this world, these are what they call first world problems. Where if your worst day is instead of a 9.8 on a comic that you bought for your entertainment or your investments, gets a 9.6 and you're complaining like you just lost your firstborn, you might want to go out to the real world and experience the suffering that's happening throughout the world. If you cannot appreciate something that isn't perfect, which, by the way, a 9.8 is not perfect. A 9.9 is not perfect. Only a 10 is perfect. It just blows my mind. So, as usual, I turn what would have been a 5-minute video into probably a 30 or 40-minute video. 29 people are watching. 16 of the 29 have hit the like button. So, I'll tell you, I get quality over quantity. I appreciate all of you, whether you agree with me or not. But if you're one of those people that just comes here to not listen to what I say, not have an honest debate, a realistic debate, and you just hit a thumbs down button, you're not getting at me. You're not hurting my feelings. It hasn't stopped me. And you could see I'm not doing this for the money. I'm going to get, because of the videos I've been making recently, my next YouTube paycheck will be about $30, which is about 10 times what I normally make. So that's after the taxes and everything. I'll get a check or whatever. They'll send it to my PayPal account for about $30. And that is the best I've made in probably 5 years. So I don't do it for the money. And yes, I have auctions every now and then. Watch any other channel, even if they don't do comic book auctions. Look at any other auction on YouTube or on Instagram or on Facebook. How many of them during the live auction will tell their potential buyers to make sure you look at the prices on eBay for the very thing I'm selling or they're selling to make sure you're not overspending? How many people out there want the people to base it on emotion and everybody's cheering them on? Oh, look, he bid. You need to beat him. Oh, he bid. Now you need to beat him. And all of them are cheering him on, and they get lost in the emotion and find out they spent $500 extra on a book that they could have bought on eBay. How many of the other channels are trying to keep that from happening? Oh, that's nice. Somebody did a super chat. It's Comic Book G-Man sent a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. He says, "Well done, Chris. Truth, well done, brother." And that's what I want. I've had so many people accuse me of things and make claims about me. Where is any of the proof? You guys see that I'm consistent in every video. There is nothing shady coming out about me. There never was. Why? Because the only thing that some of the haters did was make assumptions or just make up bullshit lies about me. And unfortunately, people believed it because I wasn't going to kiss CGC's behind. If I saw something that I felt was undermining the integrity of a company and undermining my viewers, I wasn't going to promote it. So I wasn't doing the popular thing. And that is why some of the bigger channels, even throughout all of this, even though they will barely say anything, even though they will talk about this with kid gloves, they will still get the more views, they will still get the more followers, they will still get people who will follow them blindly. Well, if you are so insecure, and obviously I'm not talking to my subscribers, but if the people in general that follow those channels are that insecure that they need to have those people spoon feed them, then 1, you're lazy, 2, you're not informative, 3, you're afraid to be a leader, and 4, you enjoy being followed. I am none of those things. I try and inspire people. I try and awaken people. I try and have people think in alternative ways that can better or potentially better their lives. And I'm just a comic book channel. That's all I could say about this. There are very few that will watch from beginning to end. And that's okay. If you are one of my power viewers, I want you to shout it out in the comment section that you are a power viewer. What is a power viewer? A power viewer is a person that watches a video from beginning to end. Now, obviously, I can't check on it, nor will I want to. I'll take your word for it if you do. There's an ultra power viewer who is a person that every time they click on a video, unless something happens where there's an emergency or whatever, or they're off the toilet, they watch all of the videos they click on from beginning to end. So if you're a power viewer or ultra power viewer, talk about it proudly. If you're not, that's okay. Because I know my average viewers watching of a video like this will be about 5 minutes before they get so sick of hearing my voice they have to vacate the premises. And that's fine. So, let me know what you think. I wrote it down, $232.24, which includes taxes and shipping, for the first appearance of Black Panther Fantastic Four 52 with a detached cover. It will be getting next month to be graded. Would you have bought it? Would you have taken the chance on getting the best offer and hoping they would respond? Leave it in the comments section. So we got some power viewers. We got Dr. Valencia Designs and Comic Book G Man. Both of you are going to be today's surprise subscriber shoutouts because you guys put the power viewer. So, and you know what? And I'm probably going to say this wrong, but it's Ikaramatsu. If I mispronounced that, please forgive me. I'm also going to have you as the third surprise subscriber shout out. Now, if you don't know what that is, that means if you have a YouTube video or a YouTube channel, in the comments section, once this uploads, you could leave a link to either a specific video or to your YouTube channel. If you don't, and you have a social network like Instagram or Facebook, and you'd like to share a link to one maybe on X, you can do that. If you don't have that, or you'd prefer to do a link of something that you sell on maybe Amazon or eBay or whatever, as long as it's not one of those CGC books that's on that list, you can do that. So I'll let you choose which link you would like to do. I had somebody on my last video yesterday promote their eBay store, so please go check them out. Ika Rogue Matsu. Okay. Sorry, thank you for that. But you guys are today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. Keep in mind, if you type in any link, it will not show up in the comments section because I have to approve it, because I know how to outsmart the spammers. And I'm not saying any of my surprise subscriber shoutouts are. I'm talking about people that will go on a YouTube channel and they'll just put a porn site link or something. So I verify all links. So if anybody is going to the comment section, and I encourage people, have a conversation. I want more people to comment, and I'm not just talking about the live show. I'm talking about when it uploads. Leave some comments. Get a dialogue going. Let's get the real comic book community to have conversations. But if you see a link in the comment section, it means it's been viewed by me. It is approved. So it's not going to take you or your children anywhere inappropriate. That matters to me. So go support our fellow YouTubian nation. Because this channel is not about just me. And that is why my slogan has always been, it's not you, it's not I, it's we love comics. So there once again is the thumbnail that I just made today. It's my AI art. I would love to hear what you think about it, good, bad, or indifferent. Again, if you see the comments that are scrolling on the screen, I am looking to do a trade for any or all of those books. You have my word that if you send me any of those books, as soon as I get it, I will do a live video showing the book, who it came from. I will show the books that you traded for. I will mail it out either that day or the very next day, depending on what day. You know, if I get it on a Saturday evening, I can't send it out until Monday. But you have my word that you will get your books. You will get them safely. You will get them quickly. Because I take pride in anyone that's ever ordered anything from me, that they will always get it. They will get it quickly, and they will get it safely. I've had people overseas send me $500 in cash. I've had people send me money orders. I had a person buy a book that was $5,000 and needed a 6-month payment plan. And the day they made the final payment, that book went out and went out safely. So you have my word. I don't know what you've been dealing with other YouTube people or other people in the comic book community. If you send me one of those books that are on the screen and you do a trade with me, you have my word as a human being, as a man of my word, that you will not be cheated. So hopefully somebody will take the chance and do a trade, because I want to show my subscribers that there are still good people out there. There are still trusting people out there, and you can actually get something that you love and not have the excuse of, well, I have no money, I can't get it. If your whole life is I can't, your universe will be created to give you exactly how you feel. Not what you hope for, not what you wish for. Pray for food and see how quickly you die of starvation. Make the effort to get food, and you will feed yourself and all of those around you. It's all about effort, and it's all about changing the belief system. And I'll leave it on this note of how easy, and I've said this before, of how easily the world tricks you into thinking the way they want you to. Let me put on the video camera again really quick. And thank you to the 18 people that have hit the like button. Let's assume this is a glass. And right here in the center, from the center down, it's filled with water. Okay? So we're assuming this is a glass, and from the halfway point, the midway point down is filled with water. And I say to any of you, is this glass half full or half empty? I want you to leave it in the live chat if you're in live now, or in the comment section later, before I reveal the real answer. So, if this is a glass, and in the center point of the glass down is water, is this half full or half empty? Some of you may know the real answer because you've probably heard this from me before. So we'll see if anybody wants to take the chance. There technically isn't a wrong answer, but you'll be partially right. So no one wants to do it, and that's okay. You could do it later. So I'm going to reveal the truth and how easily you're tricked and how easily you're misled and how easily they can persuade you to think the way they want you to control you better. This glass is neither half full or half empty. It's completely full. Why? Because the question wasn't, is the glass half full with water or half empty with water? I said, is the glass half full or half empty? So you're assuming that the water is the only thing in the glass because the water would be the only part you can see. So see how they can trick you? Because the other half of the glass may not have water, but it has air, which has oxygen molecules, hydrogen, oxygen. It has microscopic organisms. It could have lint. It could have dust. In other words, it is not a vacuum. It is not void. Just because you cannot see something does not mean it's not there. I am sending you this message wirelessly. It is not magic. But you can't see the waves. You're seeing the result on the screen. But how did it get from me to you? You don't see it? You don't see cell phone conversations in the middle of the air? They trick you into believing, because the word lie is right in the middle of the word believe, that whether you believe it's half full or you believe it's half empty, you don't know. So they got you this way and they got you this way. It's time to start thinking differently if you want something different in your world. If you just feel sorry for yourself, if you just go with the thing of you can't do it, if you base your life only on what you can see, because remember what they tell you, seeing is believing, and just so you can see how ridiculous it is that they can trick people, I'm going to write it so you can see it for yourself. There's the word believe. 2 letters on one side, 2 letters on the other. What's straight in the middle? Lie. Because whether you think you know or think you don't know, whether you believe in something or you don't believe in something, neither of you know. And that's how they get people to not believe in things that can help change the world for the better and make people believe things like a man with a penis can be an actual woman that can give birth. If you're one of those people that wants to believe that, God bless you. One day in history, there are going to be people, probably 20, 30, maybe it'll take 50 years from now, that will teach their class about a certain age in this particular lifetime, in the past 5 years or so, that were the most ridiculous people probably in human history, or at least recorded human history. And this is a comic book channel. Think differently if you want to have your life be different. If you want to stay mainstream and think you know everything because you watched a news channel, or you watched a celebrity, or you watched a famous YouTuber or an influencer, I hate that word, it's so pathetic that people think they're special because they make videos and they're that important. If you want to hook your horse to those wagons, you'll find out real quick how quickly they don't care about you, especially if you don't give them money. One person was kind enough to give a $5 super chat. I don't ask for them, and I'm damn well appreciative of that $5, which, by the way, YouTube will take 30% of, and I will be taxed on. So in the grand scheme of things, I'll probably get $1.75 out of it. But you know what? That's $1.75 more than I had. So I'm very appreciative of the kindness, because it's not the quantity of the number. It's the thought and the energy behind it. That person was being kind to give something that they possessed to someone else as a thank you. People cannot see it that way. Most people don't see it. No one ever puts themselves in somebody else's shoes. Why is somebody doing what they're doing? Why are people believing what they're believing? You know what I think most people that are believing into these agenda-driven narratives these days, the ones that actually force themselves to believe it, I think that they are so lonely, they are so depressed, they are so hating themselves inwardly that they have to lash out at the world to get attention, and it brings them something they've always wanted. It's like a baby crying or a child knocking over a lamp because they want attention and they don't know how to get it correctly. So they put out these situations that get the attention that they want, but it never fills their heart with anything they really desired because they're getting what they're giving. You put out garbage, you're going to get garbage. You put out love, you're going to get love. Sometimes you'll have people that you'll give your love to and they'll hurt you. But you know what that does? It teaches you that love can be temporary, but love is really strong when you find the right love. And sometimes to appreciate a good summer, you have to go through a harsh winter. But most people cannot see that. And you know what? I have a high school education. I was never taught this stuff. I watched a lot of stuff on YouTube. I love when people say, oh, somebody gets their information from YouTube. What's the difference between somebody that can give you helpful information on YouTube as opposed to somebody giving you something they wrote down on a piece of paper? You telling me if you read a book that makes you special? That can't be lies. That can't be somebody else's opinion. It can't be wrong. It can't be dated. In other words, something that maybe was effective in the 1700s but no longer applies today. I don't understand it. And Carl Foster just did a super chat, a $5 super chat. Thank you. And he says, I appreciate your channel. Well, you know what? I appreciate you guys. By their deeds you shall know them. I am no angel. I am no saint. I don't do everything right. I'm sure there are times my wife probably gets pissed off at me because I don't do everything perfect. But in the grand scheme of things, I know that if we went out to a party and some guy tried to hit on her, she'd want nothing to do with him. I don't care if it was Brad Pitt or Elon Musk or some billionaire wannabe playboy. Andrew Tate could not take my wife because she's loyal and she appreciates me for who I am, imperfections and all. And that's the same what you see with my comic books. This comic book has a detached cover. It's at the most a 4.0, and I am extremely appreciative that I have it. I don't need it to be a 9.8. And even if I thought it was, if I sent it in to get graded with any company and it came back a 9.6, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm keeping it as a 9.6. And I'm appreciative, even though I would have loved a 9.8. Because whether it's a 9.8 or a 9.6, I'll still make profit if I'm going to sell it. I don't need that extra profit. And I'll give you an example. Like when I do my auctions, like I said before, in my live auctions, I will always tell people during the live auction While people are potentially or bidding, I say make sure you go on eBay. I even tell subscribers to go on eBay and verify that the prices I'm starting at are lower than anybody else's that was been sold on eBay, not including taxes and shipping costs. And I'll give you a prime example. If you watch Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and shout out to him and his channel, although like I said, I don't get return, but I don't need it. He does top 10 of the week comic books. I'm subscribed to his channel. I like watching them. And one of them he was talking about is Wolverine #1 limited series. That at 9.6 is selling, I think it was like $399. On my last auction, and you can go back and see it for yourself, I was selling that book with no takers for starting price of $179. I paid $22 for that book. So could I have easily have sold it for $399? Or let's say I gave a $50 discount. I could have sold it for $349, which would have been $50 less than what the average was at $399. But I still put it at $179 because I didn't need to make as much profit. Because I felt like not only making myself happy, because if I sold it for $179 and I paid $22, I'm making a decent profit, but I'm also allowing somebody else to buy it for much cheaper than what they would have had to spend elsewhere, and it makes them happy. It's giving and receiving. That's why when I first made the PGX deal, yes, I get 4 books that I can send in for free. I have to pay for the shipping, but I get the pressings, dry cleaning, signature verification if need be, and the greatest notes for free. They get free advertisement. I could have stopped there. I made sure I told them that I don't want it just to be a benefit for me, and I don't want it to be just a benefit for you. I want it to be a benefit for my subscribers or viewers, and made sure they put a link to where if you send 10 books or more to PGX, you get one of them pressed for free. It's giving. If you give goodness, it will always return to you. It just may not return at that moment, especially if you're only doing it to get something back. The difference between being fake and being genuine. And people are not stupid. Although there are people in Hollywood, on the news, and in government that try and make you every day think you are. And like I said in my last video, the biggest lie that the devil ever made people believe, this is what they say. The biggest lie the devil made humans believe is that he doesn't exist. This is what I will tell people. And I said it the other day, so you may not have heard it or you may have already heard it. The biggest lie the devil ever made was convincing humans that he had the power to do anything for you. You have the power. You will always have the power. The only way the quote-unquote devil, and I'm talking whether he's real or whether he's a story or an amalgam, it doesn't matter. The point of the matter is you are Dorothy. You can give your power, but it's your power you're giving to somebody else to make you believe they're giving you the power that you already have. That's like Superman needing the permission of Lex Luthor to have his powers. People do not realize how strong they are. But I'm thankful I'm not a millionaire right now, because maybe I wouldn't appreciate the little things that I get. Maybe I'd become a prick. Maybe I might become stuck up. Maybe I might do something that I would later regret. So maybe not having the large amount of money, although it might sound in my mind like a great idea, if I was to become some narcissistic prick who only now judge people based on their income, if I became the very thing that I worked my life against being, then maybe it's a good thing I never won the lottery and that I have to struggle. Maybe I came to this planet and came to this life to learn how to still survive without having everything thrown at your feet, and be appreciative of whatever is presented to you. Whether you worked hard for it, or somebody was kind enough to give it to you, teach you about it, or show you the way. So, 22 people are still here. You guys are glutton for punishment. 21 of you hit the like button. That's a pretty damn good ratio. There could be people with 20 million views that will maybe have 1 million likes. It's now 21 for 21. That should tell you everything you need to know. So I want to thank everybody that watched, whether you watched it live or you're watching it later. If you watch from beginning to end, you are a We Love Comics power viewer. Proudly display that in the comment section. And proudly for you and proudly for me. Who cares if anybody else... Oh, that's so stupid. That's so childish. That's so dumb. Who cares what anybody else thinks about what you do or what you enjoy? Or what you agree with or what you disagree with? You have the right, as long as you are not harming others, you have the right to believe anything you want, including the most ridiculous things like CGC is the #1 company because they do no wrong. If you want to believe that, if you think that's going to help your collection... If you think now all of your eggs that you put into that one basket is not going to crumble in front of you because you refuse to do the right thing for your own financial or potential financial gain, you will always reap what you sow and you will always get what you deserve. It just may not always be at the exact moment you do the wrong thing or you do nothing. Evil thrives when good people do nothing. So again, there are consequences to your actions or your inactions. And you could come to this planet for an experience. Even doing nothing is an experience. Be careful what you wish for, you may get it. But the beautiful thing in life is, the way to fix a problem is to realize, because you need realize to realize, that you have a problem. That's why the squeaky wheel gets the grease. If it ain't squeaking, you're probably not going to know there's a problem. So heed the warning signs. Listen to them. Because the longer you ignore it, the more damage. Ignore your teeth and they will go away. Tell me that's a good thing. Thank you for watching. I hope my 3 surprise subscriber shoutouts will leave a link to something that they are proud of or something they are part of. I hope the people that click on those links will go support them and show some positive energies their way. And I want to appreciate every single person that is in the live chat and all of the people that will watch this a day later, 2 days later, maybe 3 days later. Usually after that, I don't get any more views. I'll get about 300 views to maybe 400, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll take the quality over the quantity. Thank you for being a part of that quality. Let me know what you think about my thumbnail that I made, the AI art. It's nightcafe.com for anybody interested. No, I don't get promoted by him or anything, but it's the site I use. You can even look up We Love Comics, and you could see me there. But I'm very appreciative, very thankful. And on Monday, I should have another comic unboxing. And I just got another key comic that originally was about $700, and I got it for much less, even when they sent me a limit of where they would go. Thanks for watching. I look forward to when those arrive. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, it is not you, it is not I, it is we love comics. We should love life. And somebody out there, do a trade with me. Help me show the world that you can acquire things that you love without having to spend a dime. So if anybody has any of those comics on the bottom of the screen where they have an extra one, or they just are tired of looking at it and want something different, contact me. I promise you, it will be worth it for all parties. And it will also help me to inspire others by my actions that you can achieve your goals without limitation. But you have to remove your limitations first. So I am going to do my hardest to get at least one of those comics that you see scrolling on the screen before this year is over. And I will have not spent any money other than the shipping it will cost to ship my books to that other individual. I hope somebody will help me to help others be inspired. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. leave a comment after the beep, and I'll see you next video.